हरे कृष्णा।
Krishna, welcome to Shubha Mangalarati Japa session, and now we will start with the short Srimad Bhagavatam class. So today we'll be discussing from Canto 1, chapter 18, verse number 8. Yes. भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, verse number 18. Chapter number 18, verse number 8. किं न बालेषु सूरेण कलीन धीरभीरुना अप्रमतः प्रमतेषु यो वृको नृषु वर्तते. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Word to word meaning, Kim, what, na, may be, Bhaleshu, among the less intelligent persons, Surena, by the powerful, Kalina, by the personality of Kali, Dhira, self-controlled, Bhiruna, by one who is afraid of, Apramataha, one who is careful, Pramateshu, among the careless, Yaha, one who Vrakha, tiger, Drushu, among men, Vartate, exist. Translation: Maharaj Parikshit considered that less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but that those who are self-controlled who would have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care for the foolish, careless persons. Purport: those who are not devotees of the Lord are careless and unintelligent. Unless one is thoroughly intelligent, one cannot be a devotee of the Lord. Those who are not devotees of the Lord fall prey to the actions of Kali. It will not be possible to bring about a saner condition in the society unless we are prepared to accept the modes of action adopted by Maharaj Parikshit, that is, propagation of devotional service to the law of the Lord to the common men. Hare Krishna. So before I begin, I would like to offer my prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथा मह्यं ददान्ति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते. तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So, today we'll be discussing the verse number 8 from chapter 18, verse number, chapter, canto number 1. I'll just read the translation again. Maharaj Parikshit considered that less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but that those who are self controlled would have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care for the foolish, careless persons. So, before we begin discussing today's verse, we will just see what we had discussed in the previous verse, and we'll try to discuss today's verse with certain some of the word to word meaning by understanding the word to word meaning that Srila Prabhupada has given. So, in the previous verse, that is text number 7, Parikshit Maharaj, somebody may, question telling that if Parikshit Maharaj knew that Kali would be so harmful, why did Parikshit Maharaj give place to Kali in his kingdom? Right? So the answer to that was the previous verse, that was the text number 7, where in Kali Yuga, in order to somebody would get the effect of auspicious activities even just by thinking about it. When somebody even just thinks about performing an auspicious activity, some devotional service to the Supreme Lord, say suppose one may think that I want to chant 16 rounds, or it may be a day of Ekadashi, and somebody may think that I will chant 4 extra rounds. So just by this particular thought that they want to perform something auspicious or something, they want to progress in their spiritual life. They want to they want to advance in their spiritual life and perform devotional service unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one could achieve the benefit of it. So just by thinking about it, and the similar case in case of inauspicious activities, so one will get the effect or one will get the reaction of those sinful acts only when one performs. So you can see how Parikshit Maharaj viewed it. So that was the reason Parikshit Maharaj allowed Kali to stay in his kingdom, because just by thinking that one has to perform an auspicious activity or devotional service, one could get the benefit of it. And on the other hand, if one does one will get the result of their karma or the reactions of their sinful activities only if they would have performed it. So viewing this benefit of Kali, Maharaj Parikshit allowed Kali to stay in his kingdom. So now somebody may come and ask, okay, there may be, it may be that some the benefit people are getting benefit in the age of Kali just by thinking about it, but still Kali is residing and all those bad qualities are still there. Kali is still residing in all the 5 prohibited places. And then if these five places are there, that means it is for sure that people are going to get attracted to that, right? The good thing is that just by thinking, just by meditating on something as on an auspicious activity, people are getting benefit of it. But on the other hand, if you see the bad activities, that is gambling, illicit sex, may not it was not that it was not prominent. The thing is that it was not prominent in the kingdom of Maharaj Parikshit. but slowly there is a possibility that these ill effects of Kali can start progressing, and that is what we are seeing. So it doesn't mean that people will not fall to the trap of Kali, right? Because Kali is still residing, and as the age progresses, the effect of Kali will be increasing. So in that case, people are falling into trap of Kali, and how can we protect ourselves? So the answer to that is in today's verse. So you can see how Srila Prabhupada has given not only the problems are given in Srimad Bhagavatam. We all know that Kali Yuga is, people are short lived, they are Manda Buddhi, Manda Sumanda Matayo, and all this Kali Yuga is filled with problems, but Srimad Bhagavatam is so wonderfully it has wonderfully given the solution to these problems also. So in today's verse we'll be discussing how we can, even though Kali is existing, how we can safeguard ourselves. So we'll discuss certain word to word meaning that Srila Prabhupada has given. So if you see the verse, the first line in the verse is Kimna Baleshu Surina. So in this Baleshu, so what is the word to word meaning that Srila Prabhupada has given is Baleshu means among the less intelligent people. So, who will get attracted, who will fall to the trap of Kali are those people who are less intelligent. So, what do we mean by less intelligent? Is those people who doesn't know what is dharmic and adharmic, what is dharma, what is religion. And the second category is that people who know what is dharma, but they decide or they choose not to follow it. So these two categories of people, that is one who knows dharma, who doesn't know what is dharma, and the second category is one who knows what is dharma and they're still reluctant, or they choose not to follow it. So these kind of people, they are classified as less intelligent. So here less intelligent doesn't mean that a person who is low on their IQ. That is how usually intelligence is checked, right? The intelligence quotient, that is being checked based on your IQ. But here, Srila Prabhupada is telling less intelligent people are those who does not follow the verdict of the Vedic scriptures, who does not follow Shastras. They are less intelligent people. So, the lecture I was listening to when I was preparing for the class, in that the Prabhuji was mentioning that he had once gone and he had met a IT graduate guy. Okay, he had and he had graduated, and and Prabhuji was speaking to this fellow, and he was actually smoking when Prabhuji was speaking, and Prabhuji was having a conversation, and this IT graduated guy, he was smoking. And if you speak when Prabhu spoke to him, Prabhu told that he has all the Vedic knowledge. He knows to a certain extent. He knows what is right, what is wrong, and everything, and then still he was smoking. So Prabhuji went and asked him, why are you smoking when you know, it seems that you know the Shastras, you know what is right, you know what is wrong, then why is that you're smoking? And this person, he tells that according to him, smoking doesn't come under tamoguna. So because it does not classify under that particular thing, that particular guna, that it does not come under tamo guna, so this guy is smoking. So you can see how this person is aware about what is right and what is wrong, and they still choose to, not follow what is right. They choose to follow what is wrong. They don't want to follow what is given in Shastras. So you can even see, for example, on the cigarette packets, right? Even in case of intoxication, even on liquor, alcohol, it has been written that it is harmful for health, that it is very dangerous, and it can cause cancer. But people read it and they still decide to smoke. So it is similar. That is why they are called less intelligent, because somebody is warning you of something, and in spite of that, people are not ready to understand what are the side effects of performing a particular act. So if somebody smokes or somebody drinks, they're going to, at the end of the day, affect their own health. It's going to cause cancer or liver damage, or some or the other side effect it is going to have. And in spite of knowing this, people choose to not follow it. So those people are called less intelligent people. So this is what baleshu means. Next you can see next is Dhira Bhiruna. Dhira means self-control, and Bhiruna by one who is afraid of. So we can see now Dhira Bhiruna means who is self-controlled and one who is afraid of. So one who controls his senses, then he becomes the most powerful person. So that is why they are known as Goswami. In the Nectar of Instructions, when I was attending Bhakti Shastri, we had this. We had where Rupa Goswami tells who is a Goswami. He is one who controls his senses, who has self control, who has control on the senses. He is known as Goswami, and one who becomes the slave of his senses, one who cannot control the urges of his senses, they are known as Godasa. So here, Dhira means one who is having control over his senses. Then he becomes the most powerful person. So, how do we gain control over the senses? Right? If one has to become powerful, how do we gain control over the senses? So, Srila Prabhupada has given us these four regulative principles, that is, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, and no intoxication. So, if a person can, follow all these four regulative principles, then he can gain control over his senses, and that is how he becomes the most powerful person. And that is why Parikshit Maharaj was a very powerful person. In the translation, you can see Srila Prabhupada has written that Kali, the person had to be very powerful, but those who have Kali was a very powerful personality, but those who are self-controlled, they had nothing to fear. And that is the reason, Parikshit Maharaj did not fear about Kali. Why? Even though Kali was powerful, Parikshit Maharaj never feared about Kali. That is because he had occupied himself, he had armed himself by following the four regulative principles, and he had controlled his senses. So he knew that even though Kali was present in his kingdom, he had gained such power over his senses that he would not fall prey for Kali's trap. So in this way he had become powerful. And what is another way of gaining control over senses is through devotees association. When we are in constant association of the devotees, we tend to follow these four regulative principles very strictly. So it is said that following the four regulative principles, it is not difficult. Actually, it is not a very complicated thing, wherein you have to perform some tapas, and then you'll get some siddhi, and because of that you can then after that you can follow the regulative principles. It is not like that. For following four regulative principles are very it is a very simple task. But people tend to think that, oh, it is a very difficult thing. Why are you guys punishing yourself? Because when I started following the four regulative principles, and one of it was no meat eating, and that includes no meat eating includes no consumption of onion and garlic also. So when I started, following the four regulative principles under the guidance of my mentor, what happened was I could see that my relatives and my closed ones, they were coming and telling me, "Oh, you're such a small girl. If you don't eat such palatable dishes now, when are you going to eat? You know, when you'll get old and then you can't even eat. So why don't you eat and enjoy and satisfy your senses now itself? Why do you want to give up onion and garlic?" They were constant, they used to constantly ask me this question. For them, it was like I am punishing myself, but they do not understand that it is a way of regularizing my path to perform more devotional service. It is not a punishment, but it is a form of disciplining yourself so that you can perform your devotional services in a better way. So for example, we can understand how for regulative principles it is not a punishment. So there is an analogy of a hostel warden and the students of the hostel. Okay, so there was a hostel warden, and this warden, he was very strict, and all the students of the hostel used to hate him because he had made 108 rules, and he had written it and he had hung it in the hostel. So nobody was supposed to break these rules, and all these students in the hostel, they were feeling so suffocated. They used to feel, oh, this warden, why is he such a person? He has got down so many rules and we can't even enjoy because of it. And they were talking ill about him in the back of the war and at his back. So the warden came to know this. So what he decided that he'll take all the boys in the hostel and they'll go to a specific place, like for a vacation, and they wanted to enjoy and everything. So this warden, he took all the boys to that to a particular place for vacation. The- all the boys, they started to play football, and when they started to play football, there was no rules and restrictions, nothing. So these people started to play, and while playing, somebody, just because they were not careful, they slipped and they fell down and they got injured. So now what these boys did, they thought that, oh, we were not, careful about it. And they made a signboard and they put it right there telling that nobody should cross over. There is danger beyond this particular extent or beyond this particular border. And after that, the boys, they were served their breakfast, and they served their breakfast since there were no rules, right? So they had their breakfast and they just left their plates and they went. And after, when it was time for lunch, these boys had to come back and they found that the entire place had become, it was stinking and they didn't have plates to have their lunch. And then they realized that they didn't wash their plates. So they made a signboard telling that after eating, wash your plates. So if you see the rules made by the warden, it was making the students feel that it is like a punishment. But when the rules were taken out, there was no discipline, right? The boys later realized that these rules were for making it them more disciplined. So similarly, you can see, the traffic lights and everything. They are not. Why are they put down? Not, it is not a punishment, right? But to make sure that you follow the traffic rules. That means you are safe. That is the similar thing. Even in bhakti life, for regulative principles, controlling is for controlling your senses so that your senses are always engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord, and by doing so one can advance in their spiritual life. So some people follow four regulative principles, right? But they follow it for some material gain. So for example, you can see Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu also followed four regulative principles. But when is that? That is when he was meditating on Brahma, and he followed the four regulative principles and he pleased Brahma. And what did Hiranyakashipu do with that? He wanted to wage a war against Vishnu. He wanted to gain some material opulence. He wanted to become immortal, deathless, right? But what should we do? We should control our senses to serve the Supreme Lord, right? And next thing here we can see Maharaj Parikshit, he's been compared to a tiger. So, Srila Prabhupada writes that a king was powerful like a tiger and took care of foolish people. So, tiger, you can see, so in a group of sheeps, right? A sheep, I think, I don't remember, like very long time back, I saw an advertisement. In that, there was a sheep, and that sheep was following something, and these other people, other sheeps also looks at the sheep, and they are heading towards this, but one sheep is heading towards another something, and the other sheeps are following him, and the sheep which is in the front doesn't see that there is a pit, and the sheep falls into the pit, and all the fellow sheeps who are following this leadership, they also fall into the pit. Why is it? Because they are not careful. So this is what happens in a herd of sheep. There is a group of sheep. The fellow sheep are following the leadership, and the leadership does not sheep does not itself know where is it going towards. So the tiger takes advantage of this situation, and he bounces on the sheep, and the sheep becomes a prey. It becomes the food for the tiger for that particular day. Why does it become like this? Is because the sheep is very careless. It is like, okay, anyways, no, but I don't know where am I going. I don't know if people are even following me. Nothing. The sheep is just blind, and it's so careless. Because of its carelessness, it becomes prey to the tiger. But if the same tiger sees a man with a weapon, what will the tiger do? The tiger will get scared, right? Because it's the man is having a weapon, and the tiger knows, oh, the man is occupied with a weapon. Even if I try to attack him, he's going to bounce back to me with this weapon. So similar is the situation of Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit, he had the weapon of the holy name. So the Kali was afraid. Why was it? Because, oh, Kali knows, oh, if I try to attack Maharaj Parikshit, then he has the weapon of the holy name. He will bounce back with it. And that is why Kali had no chance to exhibit its qualities in under the ruling of Maharaj Parikshit, because of the weapon of the holy name. And less intelligent people, they're very careless. You can see, as I told when I was preparing for the class, that Prabhu was mentioning what there is a technology that people are recently developing. The scientists are coming up with a technology called virtual reality. Is that, I mean, if you see the name, virtual is something that is not existing, and reality, that means something that is not existing, but virtually you can feel that, oh yeah, this is present. So they're coming up with a technology wherein you will feel that this something that is not there, but still you feel, oh yeah, this is present. Okay, and they're utilizing this mechanism for having it was said that it is a type of glass, it is a type of a screen wherein some virtual images are being played, and the people feel that, oh, they're actually in the place. So they are actually trying to give this virtual experience to the people, and make them feel that, oh, they're actually in that place, and they're trying to come up with such a mechanism. And uh, you know trying to make money out of it from people. So if you see these problems, they're actually not something that has to be addressed on. There are bigger problems. They are not looking at that, and that is why they are becoming less intelligent and careless. They don't want to solve the problem of birth and death, old age and disease. Instead they are they're investing their intelligence that is given by the Supreme Lord in such silly things. The Supreme Lord tells, Matta smrithir gnanam apohanam cha. That means your forgetfulness, your remembrance, everything is coming from me. The intelligence that a person is having, that also has to be used in the service of the Supreme Lord. And in that way one can engage himself in the devotional service. So for example, I'll just end it up with this last thing. So yesterday we had been to Mahavatar Narsimha. So in that, what I could understand is that in the end of the movie, there is Ahobilam Kshetra. They are showing the Navanarsimha places, and I even saw Mayapur Narasimha. They even, at the end of the movie, they even played Namaste Narasimhaya. So, what do we understand by this? The person who has directed the movie, he's got such a high amount of intelligence that he has used it to in a devotional way, right? He has used it entirely in a way wherein he has attracted the entire public without their knowledge. And the people who are viewing the movie, they're hearing to the glories of Nrsimha and getting purified. So how intelligent the devotees are, right? They find some or the other way to give out mercy to the people. So you can see even in ISKCON there are such highly qualified people. It could be their education qualification. There are people from IIT, IIM, and what are they doing? They're using all their intelligence that is coming from the Supreme Lord, and they're engaging it in, preaching Krishna consciousness. It could be Radhesham Prabhu, he's from IIT, Gauranga Prabhu, they are all from IIT, and they're using all their intelligence that's given by the Supreme Lord in the service of the Lord by preaching the glories of the Lord and attracting the people. They're engaging people in devotional service, and that is what Srila Prabhupada is telling in today's verse, that Parikshit Maharaj used his intelligence in such a way that he attracted all the citizens of his kingdom to perform devotional service, and in this way he safeguarded the citizens of his kingdom by using his intelligence. So these were some of the points from today's verse. So I thank you all for your patient hearing. ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, पतित पावन गुरु महाराज की जय.